What's up, Pride Nation? Back at you with another video on today. This is Raw Detroit. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, click on that bell so that you'll be notified whenever we put up an upload. And also, guys, make sure you hit the like button. It's free and it don't cost you a thing. Appreciate everybody that's been watching the videos. We're going to continue to talk prospects. We're going to continue to talk about ways that the Detroit Lions can get better, because at the end of the day, the rebuild is about getting better. It's not about regressing, but we have to get better. And right now, currently, we are regressing. So we definitely need to find some players that's going to ultimately impact this team, especially on defense. We know that the defense is pretty much lacking some stars. Now, I know so far currently, Aiden Hutchinson is pretty much holding his own. And if he can get to 10 sacks, which I said that he needed to have, I definitely think that skies is going to be the limit. It was a great thing to be able to finally see Josh Paschal get out on the football field and do his thing. And when Josh Paschal came out there, it pretty much amped up that defense and had the defensive line ready to go. So definitely, man, when I'm thinking about the Detroit Lions this offseason, I'm thinking about ways that they can go out and grab linebackers, whether they grab these guys through free agency or they grab them through the draft. But definitely I would love them to get them in the draft because they're going to be a little bit younger and things of that nature. But sometimes, well, maybe you can do it like this. You maybe can grab a free agent linebacker and a draft pick as a linebacker as well. The Lions are going to be working with some money next season. So we just need to get better. Defensively, this team has definitely regressed, and I thought that they would get better. But last game they did play better. But definitely I still think that it needs to be some dogs on this team. And I think that Jack Campbell is definitely what the doctor ordered and what the Detroit Lions need at linebacker. I think that if they brought Jack Campbell in and they drafted this guy, he would probably be the Mike linebacker. He's probably the guy that you want in the middle, and let pretty much Malcolm Rodriguez be that will linebacker and grab you Sam and be ready to go. I think that this guy can be a starter in season number 1 because I think that he's that good. He's very good at tackling. Campbell is very good at using his length and range and instincts. And that's what you want at the linebacker position. You want a guy that's kind of like a Luke Kuechly, a guy that's able to read formations, a guy that's able to shoot through gaps, and a guy that's able to stop the run. Ultimately, that's what you're looking to do. You're looking to send him in on blitzes every now and then, and also being able to drop back in coverage. And Jack Campbell is very versatile. He's a very versatile linebacker that can do it all. And that's the type of linebacker I want on my team. I want a dog. I want a werewolf, and I want a guy that's going to rip the face mask off somebody's helmet. That's exactly what I want in Detroit. And I know that you should be wanting those same things too. So he's very instinctive, man. Solid when asked to drop back in coverage. So that means that this dude can drop back in coverage and do his thing. And also he can cover running backs out of the backfield as well as tight ends, and can hold his own in man coverage. And that's something that the Detroit Lions have desperately been needing for a very long time. A linebacker that can drop back in coverage and hang with some of today's best tight ends. Guys like Travis Kelce, Kittles, guys like Waller and stuff like that. You know, being able to be able to guard some of these top tight ends in the NFL. It's a lot of guys out there that do damage at the tight end position. And if we got a linebacker that's the size of a Jack Campbell, and he has that old school type of frame, you haven't seen these linebackers in a long time, guys that stand at about 6'4", 6'5". It's been a minute since you've seen a linebacker like this. But definitely, man, I love everything about Jack Campbell's game. Got an opportunity to see a lot of his tape and film work and stuff like that. And from what I've been seeing, man, the dude is very instinctive. He reacts really well. There's always pros and cons, and there's always things that he can work on. And I think definitely he'll be working on those things to get better. But from what I'm seeing, this is a guy definitely I think that Detroit needs to put on that big board, because I think that he has the talent at the linebacker position, what the Lions need. I love his size. I love the bigger linebackers, man, especially when they got speed and when they can use their length and stuff like that. I love that, man. And I think that that's what he's going to offer to the Detroit Lions if they decide to draft him. Now, I think he's projected to be drafted in day 2, but he can end up being in day 2 or either day 3 as a linebacker. Now, another thing that you need to know about him, He was a first-team All-Big Ten linebacker. So we're not talking about no slouch. We're talking about a guy that can ball. Jack Campbell can play. And then we're talking about a guy that was on the second-team All-American linebacker corps. So he's one of the best linebackers in the country. And the guy can do it all. He can stop the run. He can cover wide receivers and tight ends, and also can cover running backs out of the backfield. He's very solid at doing his job. And Detroit needs a very, very good linebacker to play alongside Malcolm Rodriguez. I'm telling you guys, the lights, not the lights, sky's going to be the limit if the Detroit Lions are ultimately be able to grab the type of linebacker that can come in right away and help us. That's what we need, man. We need a rookie that can come in and can ball out from day one. And I know it takes time to play the linebacker position because it's a lot required out of today's linebackers as well. But if we can get a guy that we can draft that can hit the ground running from day one and go out there and ball and make an impact, I think that we're going to be a good football team. So I definitely think that the Lions need to put Jack Campbell on the list of linebackers that will be coming out. It's going to be a lot of great linebackers coming out, but you got to get the right linebacker for your team that's going to be able to help you out. You know, we looking for a guy that's going to be an impactful linebacker, not just a guy that's just one of the guys. We're tired of grabbing linebackers that are just one of the guys. No, I don't want you to be just one of the guys. I want you to be all world. I want you to make an impact. And I want you to make an impact right away because we need it. We need it. So when I'm going out looking for a linebacker and I'm scouting a linebacker, I'm looking for a linebacker that's going to be a game changer. A guy that's going to come in and give me what I need at that position. And I'm talking about a monster from day one. It's going to take time to find that type of guy, but I think that Jack Campbell fits that bill. And ultimately, if the Lions draft him, I think that he's going to be a perfect fit along Malcolm Rodriguez. Because right now, I thought that Derek Barnes would be way further along in year two than what he initially is right now, and he's not. So by him not being the linebacker that you need him to be, you got to go out and draft two more linebackers to make sure that this linebacking core is definitely doing its thing. And I know that Brad Campbell said some things that he really don't value getting linebackers early, but you got to kind of wipe that away off your thought process if you're the Detroit Lions. You have to value a linebacker in any round because you're looking for a guy that ultimately can make some plays, a guy that's going to get some interceptions, a guy that can blitz, go in and get a strip sack, a guy that can punch the ball out, a guy that can make plays. You're not just looking for a guy to just be out there tackling all day. I'm looking for a playmaker at the position. And I definitely think that Jack Campbell is one of those guys that can make plays. He's very versatile, and that's something that the Lions desperately need to get a linebacker that can play alongside Malcolm Rodriguez and build alongside Malcolm Rodriguez. And I think that ultimately if the Lions decide to get a free agent linebacker to pair with him, or they decide to draft two linebackers in the draft, I think that that's going to be the right move for them in 2023. We all know that the area for the Lions that's weak right now is the linebacking core. The linebacking core has been bad ever since the Lions had an opportunity to take Isaiah Simmons and they passed on him. They could also took Herbert in that draft and Tua as well, but they decided to pass on him and took Jeffrey Okudah, and Jeffrey Okudah is balling. So lights out to shout out to Jeffrey Okudah for being able to go out there and ball and be able to take that label away from himself. A lot of people was calling him a bust and was just saying that this dude is no good. And he come out in year 3 after rupturing his Achilles. He's out there balling and playing at a all-time high level. And that's what we need, man. We have to build on these players that we have. We have to build on these young guys. We got a lot of young guys on our team that need to go and be developed so they can go to the next level. So this Detroit Lions defense can be lights out and be a nightmare in the league, because that's what you want. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you want your Detroit Lions to be a nightmare on defense. When anybody comes to Detroit, they're going to really know what it is to bite kneecaps and do all this other stuff that Dan Campbell's been wanting to do. Now, the thing about Dan Campbell, yes, he's made some bad calls and some he's mismanaged time and stuff like that as far as with the games and stuff like that. But you want to see Dan Campbell win, man. I don't want to see Dan Campbell get fired. I want to see the guy win. And last week when they lost, he took it to heart. I seen him on the sidelines when he threw his hat down and things of that nature. Dan Campbell really wants to win, man, and he really wants to change the culture of the Detroit Lions. And it's hard, man. Anybody that takes the job in Detroit know what you're up against. You're trying to take a franchise that's never won anything and to make them relevant. And it's been hard, man. It's been hard. No matter what coach we've had, we've gone through a lot of coaches in Detroit, but none of these guys have been able to turn the Lions around. And I want to see Campbell do it. He's been called meathead. He's been called he can't get right. He can't get this team right. He makes bad decisions with the fourth downs and things of that nature. He's learning on the job. This really is his first year really getting into it and really coaching and stuff like that. I know he coached with Miami for a little bit as an intern. And then last season you had the year, because they had to get rid of a lot of garbage that was on the team last year. But this is really his first year really trying to, solidify himself as a Detroit Lions coach. So we'll see, man. But definitely, man, I think the Lions should take a look at linebacker Jack Campbell. I'm out of here. Peace.